So, in this tutorial, we were picking up from where we left off modeling the cheese. And first, let me put the cheese in its own layer. So I'm gonna have it selected, click on that, double click. I'm gonna type in underscore cheese. Yeah. And maybe give it color, something like that. Okay. For now, just leave the history alone. Leave the translates and scales alone. I might need it for later. And let's hide it. Okay, good. From here, let's build the beef patty. And what we're gonna do again, create polygon primitives cylinder. Polygon primitive cylinder. And then from here, what we're gonna do, let me hide the burger, right? And let me pull this up, and then everything I'm gonna pull up a bit. I'm gonna grab this. You don't have to do this, but I'm just gonna do it for myself. Should I do that? I want it to be about this size, right? I'm just trying to get the scaling. Okay, you don't have to do this, but okay, so just aligning it. Yeah, don't mess with these. Don't freeze transform. That's why I'm keeping them for now. All right, pull this down. Leave the bun alone. Okay, so from what I can gather, what you could do is you can punch in the size for this, the proportions. Yeah, I don't want you guys to mess with this right now. Someone might end up freezing transform and just it'll cause a wreck. This guy. So let me hide this and this for now. And let me set this to. Let me set it back to 0. I'm just afraid something might go wrong when. No. Yeah, it's fine. So this guy right here, the cylinder, what I'm gonna do is we need to first give it divisions, or you know what, I'm gonna scale it from here. Naturally this is its default. I'm gonna first pull like that. Okay, Alt 5, Option 5 to see wireframe. I'm gonna pull it down. I'm just trying to get the idea of the width of the beef patty. Alright, so coming over here, maybe pull it up, how it's gonna eventually rest on the bun. Alright, so that's about 0.5, or maybe yeah, 0.5. And then I want to press R. Okay, R, and I'm gonna yank on this. Remember, we learned about this. This will be about 9. You know, maybe Well, make it 9 here and 9 there. Yeah. And then from here, you know what? 9.2. 9.2. Give it so it kind of edges out. It'll help out the silhouette. Yeah, good. And we need more surface area. So under the polygon, polycylinder 2, we're gonna add the subdivisions to 40. Okay. And then the subdivision caps to 5. Yeah, 5. Okay, so again, the reason why is the beef patty is also gonna deform and bend and whatnot. So if it does, it needs these lines to help it bend the shape of it. Like I mentioned before, kind of like the accordions, you know, it needs those rivets, those extra lines on it to kind of bend and flex, or like a fence cage. So we did that. Again, that was under here, inputs, 40 on the subdivision axis, and caps is at 5. Okay. Right. And do not mess with the height. We're not going to add something here. So we did that. Overview, scale X 9.2, scale Z 9.2, scale Y 0.5. Alright, the thickness. The height, don't worry about so much. I was just wrestling with before about the placement and whatnot. I'm thinking about the animation and setting up the rig for this thing. Alright, so this is what we got. Whatever you do not move this, okay? And yeah, this part I can move around a bit. Yeah, up and down only. Only up and down. Now I need to add a bevel. Bevels. Double click. On shift, double click. Alright, make sure you got all around. All around. Now I'm going to go shift right click, bevel, and then let go. Okay, this will give me that little bend around. Segments, I'm going to set the segments to, the segments will be 3. Alright, but it's a little bit too tight, you know. With that, the fractions will give me more broader, okay. 0.75 fraction. See? Look what that did. Very nice. Like a real like beef patty from Walmart. Alright, so 0.75 and 3. Alright, and leave it alone. Right click, object mode, get out of it. There you go. Alright, very nice, very nice. Yeah. So for sure, let's name it. I'm gonna name it beef patty. These you could want to keep. This, yeah, I guess so as well. You could leave it at 4 if you want. Yeah, but do not freeze transforms on any of these just yet. Okay, so we did that. Let's do a quick UV map. Even though we don't need it, we're gonna do procedural shaders. Yeah, so here's the default UV layout, like I mentioned. And what we're gonna do first of all is a planar mapping. That's gonna be UV planar option box. So Y, keep image with height ratio, apply. There you have it. and I want to bring this up. Okay, and like I mentioned, I don't like how it's so tight over here. It's not good for texture mapping someday, even though we're not doing texture mapping for this. And another way to make this smaller is, instead of me going to right click and UV and selecting the UV and truncating it in here, scaling it, in here under the inputs you have inputs for the UVs. So you got here width and height, and remember I mentioned about the image ratio, height ratio. Well, see how it's equal? That's because of that. Checked on. So let's select these and make it, I don't know, like 25. Oh, that's bigger the number makes it smaller. So it'll confuse you a bit. So make it what, 28? No, again, bigger the number, so I gotta make it smaller. Damn it. 22. Yeah. 22. So yeah, this much space is good. And I mean, it's not necessary, but it's procedural. Now, you know what? I need to make some UVs for these sides, because we don't have the UVs for these sides. Spacebar over here. So all you're gonna do, we're in the side or in the front, you're gonna right click face. Okay, make sure you are in orthographic. It has to say this. Don't do this where you're over here, right? And you click on that and you use this as the side, right? Don't be using these. I had several students that do that, and just don't. You could use front or the side. From here, I'm gonna just carefully get out of my way. I'm gonna just select, like, say from here, like that, like this much. See, zoom in. See, give it that much space. All right, I marquee selected. And you know what, but it's still good to show this anyway for UV mapping, and that would be these guys. And what you could do is what we call cylindrical mapping. UV cylindrical option box. Nothing important, necessary, just hit apply. So what that did was, it's hard to tell, but you're gonna see this, this, and this. Okay, so it wrapped around like a cylinder. Okay, it wrapped around like a cylinder. And how I can show that is over here, projection horizontal sweep. Right now it's at 180, meaning half circle, which is literally here, like that. If we make it 360, and also when you look over here, this is what it looks like. You see, this is this, but you notice the scaling is not correct. You see over here versus this, totally different. Just keep that in mind, because if you ever add textures, it's gonna skew it. But I'm gonna make it 360, and look what happens to the gizmo. Oh, why didn't it? Okay, that should wrap around. Oh, it did wrap around, see? Yeah. It just didn't look like it. Alright, so if I go 180, okay, alright, there. See, watch this and watch this. Here and here. If I press 360, and it wraps completely around. And then here it is, okay. Then from here, think it's the height. So from here to here, see this? I don't like this, right? It's all snug against the borders. It shouldn't touch the borders. It should have space. So projection height, make it 1, and it does that. I still don't like this. Alright, so we did that much. Now I have to, okay, so when you see things overlapping, don't panic, right? So for example, I can go and go right click, UV. I can just select just a couple. Again, right click, UV. Make sure this guy is selected in the first place. Right click, UV. Select a small bunch on the outside. And you hold, oh, this you should write down for sure. Shift, right click. Wait. Shift, right click? Oh yeah. Control, right click. Control, right click. I believe on the Mac it is also control, right click, or it could possibly be command, right click. Because the control button and the command button on the keyboard, you know, it's so similar, like on the left side. Anyway, it's one of those. Control or command, right click for the Mac. So when you do that, when you do it, hold it at the same time, you're going to choose to UV shell. And that's going to select the entire shell of this shell. See that? That shell. Now since I did that, I'm going to just press R. I'm going to, from the center, I'm going to pull like that. See? And I'm going to pull on this. Squeeze it like that. Okay? Squeeze. Press W, pull it down. Yeah. Yeah, squeeze it some more. And now it's getting closer to the same proportions. Squeeze it some more, like that. There you go. Nice and clean. I mean, not that we really need it, but it's good to have. It's just good practice, good etiquette in terms of making it clean and presentable. Okay. Okay, so we did that. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I mentioned before, we'll be doing something called procedural shaders for this, and it doesn't really rely on the UVs as much as, you know, like how regular texture maps for like Photoshop is. Yeah, so let me close it out, and let's put it on a layer. Let me find my front panel. From here, select it, click on that, double click on that, underscore beef patty underscore. Maybe give it, I don't know, this color. There. So everything's nice and labeled. Good. Let me save this. Alright, good. So yeah. Alright, so before we end, I turned the cheese back on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up the beef patty. You could do this as well. And I'm just going to just align things. Do not move the bun though. Yeah, do not move the bun. You could work from the front panel just to look at the size. Something like that. You grab it, put it around here. Okay, like this much distance. Alright. Yeah. Then king. Alright. These I'm gonna pull up a bit. Pull that up a bit. These have to be separated. Yeah, so but for now you could just, you know, do some rough estimate as to like the placement. But like I said, do not move this. This is your baseline where everything's gonna start from. So this shouldn't move. So when I look here, see how it's still aligned with the base where I always started from? And I said in class to give it out this much space. And everything else will follow suit after that. Okay. Grab that. Like that. And this. Yeah. For now. Okay. So very cute. It's starting to come along real nicely. Okay. That's the reference. Before we leave, let's get the tomato back. Okay. Right now it's huge. I'm gonna lift it up. And I'm gonna press R. And from the center, I'm gonna push it in. From the center. Do not do stuff like this. Alright? Do not do that. Do not. Just from the center. Do that. Okay. Press W, pull it down to here. I'm gonna have to lift the bun up. Yeah. Grab this. Grab that. Alright. Then do some placement like that. Okay. So you get a rough idea of things. Okay. So I like the width. I can pull this down. So hopefully yours will be like this too, like 4.4, 4.4, and 0.342, right? Okay. Alright, that's good. And I think that's about it. Oh yeah, the next one I gotta make is I said I'll make the pickle. Yeah, I think I might have 1 or 2 students absent, so I might as well make that. After I make that, that'll be another tutorial. Then from there I'll do the final placement of things. And then we're done for the setup of everything. Yeah, looks cool. Alright, so this is the end of that. Bye bye.